The HK VP9, this gun rocks. HK's just announced their brand new pistol, the VP9. This is a striker fire offering from HK. And HK was actually the original designers of the first striker fire pistol with the VP70. And then the P7 squeeze cocker, which of course is world renowned. Those both were striker fired. So it's been 35 years since HK has developed a new striker fire pistol. Of course, the first thing we're going to do, make sure the gun is unloaded, and it is. One of the things that I'm going to mention before we get into all the details of this really high quality pistol is the price. Retail price $719, which translates for your local gun shop or street price for about the $650 to $675 range. Getting your HK pistol, you can have a nice form-fitted case. Of course, the pistol comes, you get an extra magazine. 15 rounds is standard, and of course they do supply 10 rounders for those states that aren't so free. One of the things that they do though that's really unique about HK, and we're going to look a little bit more at that in just a few minutes, is their back strap and their side grip interchangeable panels. They offer 3 different designs for your back strap and 3 different designs for the side panels, which is really unique. A lot of pistols out there are doing the back straps, but not the side panels. You also get a spent shell, an HK lock, which is going to go in my gun drawer, and the operator's manual, which is very concise. Now the VP9 is based very similar to the P30 design. And the P30, I just did a review on it about a month ago. Just a phenomenal pistol. P30 is hammer fired, whereas this one is striker fired. Striker fired pistols are easier to produce. There's not as much going on with the mechanism. So, that translates into a better price. But striker fire pistols are exceptional. But one of the things that the VP9 really purports is that it has one of the best trigger systems for a striker fire pistol out of the box. I've got a number of striker fire pistols. We're probably going to do more of a comparison between those coming up in a next video or so. I'm going to be doing a series on the VP9 because it is a brand new pistol. This is not at this time in June 2014. It'll at least be probably mid-July before these become available. I actually got this directly from HK, which is a huge honor for me to be able to get a hold of one of these before they're even released. It does have the standard trigger safety, which of course is very reminiscent of the Glock system right here, and this is going to keep the trigger from firing unless you're depressing that center bar. So it's going to hold it into place. There's also a hammer drop safety in here as well. This is a very safe gun to shoot and a safe gun to carry. And that's one of the things about the striker fire system with its internal safeties is it's quick to deploy, but it is very safe. And that's been proven over the past 30 years. One of the things you'll notice is this little red indicator. That means that the gun is cocked. And so once you pull the trigger, that's going to disappear. Of course, it is a polymer frame pistol, and it does have a very nice high quality slide. The first thing we're going to do is check out the trigger system because HK is purporting this to be the best trigger system of any out-of-the-box striker fire pistol. As we have the take-up, it's really smooth. Really smooth trigger take-up. And then there is a slight little click. It's very consistent. And that is huge because most of your striker fire pistols have a lot of creep and a lot of pressure. Even with the Glocks, as you pull the trigger, it becomes almost spongy before you hit it. This is a lot more crisp. The take up, click, and it's really nice. The reset is very short and sweet. So you're going to be able to get those follow-up shots really easy. According to HK, the trigger pull is around 5.4 pounds. And the return on reset is just under 1/8 of an inch. We're going to demonstrate two different trigger systems, and both of these have been safety checked. To give you a comparison, here's a Glock 27. This has not been modified. Typically I do a lot of polishing on the interior of the trigger system, but this one has not been modified. Now we have the take up, and then there's a lot of pressure before you pull it. Now I'm used to shooting Glocks, and that's fine, but once you get spoiled with a really nice trigger, it really makes a difference at the range. So kind of a take up and then pressure as it comes back, and then it snaps. With the HK, again, the take up, and it's just a nice click. One of the best purported striker fire triggers up to date has been the PPQ from Walther. It is a very nice trigger system. There is a lot going on that take up. In fact, there's a lot of resistance, and then there's a really crisp snap. I'll have to say that the PPQ at the very end, the little click, is so definite. It makes it really nice. But all the take up and everything that's going on, the HK, I believe, has it beaten. They are using the P30 magazines, which are already readily available. They're all steel. The magazine release is on either side of the trigger guard. I really like this system, and it's not very difficult to get used to. In fact, it's pretty intuitive. They are using the steel magazines. Of course, these are made in Germany. Excellent quality with a polymer base plate. They slide in and out of the magazine well, very well. Even at the bottom of the grip, you have these indentions to be able to pull the magazine if you need to. If it actually gets jammed of some sort, you can actually pull in here and get that out with a little more ease. The texturing on the grip is exceptional. It's very nice and aggressive. I mean, you know when you have it in your hand. It's a little different than the P30. And I'll tell you right now, we're not going to compare this to the P30 today. We're going to do a full comparison between the VP9 and the P30 coming up. We're going to focus, though, on the VP9. This is such a new gun. There's so many cool features. I just don't want to get sidetracked. Of course, with the smoothness where your fingers fit right with your trigger, it gives you a lot of slick smoothness to be able to just get right to the trigger. The grips really felt good in the hand. It gives you a lot of confidence when you're grabbing the gun and firing it. You're not worried about it slipping, and it really holds into place well, especially with rapid shots, trying to get to that target really quickly. I mean, seriously, along with the P30 design, this grip is the most ergonomic grip I've ever felt, bar none. Has military standard 1913 Picatinny rail system, and it's full all the way out. The trigger guard is enlarged for gloved hands, also has serrations here on the front. The grip design is deep cut here, and this really gives you a close fit to the frame, and it actually helps with the low bore axis. It gets that slide really close down, and so when it's coming back, it's going to ride closer to the hand, and it's going to just help with accuracy and with follow-up shots. The slide has serrations on the front and the rear, but one of the things that I really like that's a little bit different with this, in fact, I've never seen this before, are these little cocking ears right here on either side. That allows for extreme positive gripping of the slide. These cocking lugs really are easy to get a hold of. It's just so easy, whether you're doing it overhanded like this or you're pulling it straight back. It just gives you that added leverage to it. Really, when I first picked the pistol up and looked at it, I didn't really know if I'd like them. I really like my pistols to be really thin, but because it's way back here in the back, for some reason, of course, that's going to stay out of your holster. It's just going to be up top. It just really is a great place for it. Looking at them, I'm not sure that they're actually removable. Looks like they fit under the rear sight, but I'm going to leave them on because I just think it's a real advantage to be able to grab that slide really fast. The slide is a really high quality steel with a nitro carburized what they call hostile environment finish. It's a nitride finish, and it's really impervious to weather. And of course, these guns in this system have been shot 90,000 rounds through these without any malfunctions. This particular design, the VP9, has had 10,000 rounds shot through it. No issues whatsoever. It's already gone through all the military tests, and it's come out really well. It's been in development for about 4 years. And one of the things they've done is taken a lot of the features that they learned on the P30 design and incorporated them into this design, even though it's somewhat different than the P30. You have steel sights that are 3-dot, and these are luminescent. They're not tritium. In fact, they say they're non-radioactive. So light will be captured in here and they will glow slightly. If you really want them to glow, you put the light to them. There is a tritium sight option from HK as well. Of course, you can see the sights, and now you can really see the sights. Here to give you a good idea, this isn't even in total darkness, and they really show up well. It picks up ambient light, and of course I've been shooting this outside, so it's really picking it up. Has a nice bull nose on the front of the slide, and then at the back, of course, it just has the striker fire system. We're going to place a dummy round in the chamber, and here you have your chamber indicator that it is loaded. Just a slight red right here. It's also a little bit tactile, but you can see the red. Now, to me, one of the improvements of the VP9, even over the P30 and other HK pistols, is typically they have long levers for your slide release. With this, you have a very subdued slide release here. Bring it back, lock it into place. But also, it's fully ambidextrous. So for left-handed shooters, the slide release can be activated with your left thumb. The overall length is 7.34 inches. It is 1.32 inches in width, and in height it's 5.41 inches. The barrel length is just over 4 inches at 4.09 inches. And the weight with the magazine is 26.5 ounces. For disassembly, go ahead and double check, make sure the gun is unloaded. Bring it back into the rear position and engage your slide release. Here is your takedown lever. Go ahead and bring it down into the 6 o'clock position. Now, one of the things that HK says, even in their manual, is that your trigger does not have to be activated to disassemble the pistol. You should be able just to release your slide. One of the things that I've noticed is I can't get it to do that. So once you do pull the trigger, it does slide right off. And I've looked over the material, maybe I'm doing something wrong. And two, if you're going ahead and checking and you got to pull your slide all the way back to the rear position, you're checking it to make sure it's unloaded anyway. So that's not really a problem, and it's not a problem for me, but that is one of the things I just wanted to point out. You can't disassemble the gun with the magazine inserted. In fact, and I'm going to demonstrate it here with the frame separate, it won't even go into battery. There's just no way to push that forward. It's resting up on these lips. It has a really solid block right here, very thick rails. I love this. It gives you really a sense of confidence because this is a very strong system, stronger than most of the polymer frame rails that I've seen. From the internals, you can see that it does have a lot of the basic striker fire designs, but there are differences to the HK design, and especially right here with the striker. Now, the recoil spring system is a flat design, and it's made to really reduce recoil. It is captured, and you can see the design. There is a steel guide rod within this captive recoil spring. It does have a modified Browning type lockup system with the barrel. One of the things about the barrel, though, that I want to mention is they use Cannon grade steel for these barrels. So this is an incredible, very strong barrel. It is using the polygonal grooves instead of the landing grooves, and this is going to give you better accuracy, and it's also going to extend the life of the barrel. Of course, with HK 9mm right here on the barrel. And the barrel is cold hammer forged, which really gives it a lot of strength. All the machining is excellent, which is to be expected. Reassembly, just reinsert your barrel, take your recoil spring. You want to make sure that this notched part of the recoil spring system, which it is all steel, is in the forward position with the little nub right here toward the back. Bring it back over to the slide rails, making sure that you keep it down into place. Engage your slide stop. There you go. Now, the VP9 comes with the medium backstrap and side panels already attached. Actually, I've already taken those off and put on the small size, but I'm going to show you how that's done. It's really simple to do. There's a roll pin that goes through the back, and this also doubles as a place to put a lanyard. All you need to do is to remove that, push that through, and then just go ahead and slip your back strap off. Now you have to remove the back strap to get your side panels off, and they just slip toward the back like so. As you can see, there are these little ridges here and their corresponding grooves in your grip. One thing too that I really like is that they are marked. This is small, right, and then these are marked large. And you want to make sure that you do get these in the grooves or they will not fit correctly. There'll be some gaps. And then the large panel right here on these rails. Slides right into place. Then just replace the pin, making sure that you get it even on both sides, and you're done. Nice full grip. This is a truly customizable grip. This can be changed into 27 different configurations with the 3 back straps and the 6 side panels. So you can get this grip to suit whatever size, whatever hand size, whatever your preferences are. Really at the range, I mean, it was just so on target. It was so easy to get follow-up shots. The recoil management was just unbelievable. Their recoil system is just bar none one of the best I've seen. And a lot of that has to do, of course, with the high bore axis. But it was just so easy to stay on target, and those sights really were doing well. Just shooting about an inch or so above where I was aiming. So just repeated shots over and over. Of course, you could hear the steel ring. Just an excellent gun at the range. In fact, I brought a couple of 100 rounds just to run through it, and brought another extra 100 just in my bag, and I went through all of it. So it was just really, in fact, if I had another 100 rounds right now, I'd go through it again, because this is such a pleasure to shoot. Yeah, 10 yards, jacketed hollow point, HPR, and I knew I'd pulled that one little one. They would have all hit in that same area. This gun is just so easy to flip and shoot. This is the easy to see target system. This is excellent, and I'm going to be doing some stuff on this coming up. And HK does offer a limited lifetime warranty for the original retail of civilian purchases, and 1 year for law enforcement and military. Coming up, we're going to take the VP9 and compare it to the HK-P30, which is designed very heavily after, but this is a hammer-fired pistol. And then we're going to take a look at the PPQ, which I feel like is a really close comparison to the two. So a lot of good stuff coming up. VP9, can't wait for you guys to get a hold of this gun. You're going to love it. I have a feeling H&K is going to have a bestseller in this one. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Oh yeah, VP9, awesome. That HK has really to disengage this pistol. Okay, hold on, let me look that up. About 5.4 pounds according to SIG. Okay. Now we're going to remove the recoil spring, and they use a flat, oh crap. HK, they were the first designers of the polymer. VP9, Vampire Slayer. Put some wooden bullets in this sucker.